Hello, we're doing linear combination system 7.3. This is not my favorite way of doing of combining lines, but we're going to have to learn it anyway. It's going to challenge you a little bit, and let's go right now. So in linear combination, it's really essential in chemistry and in other things, in math and in other areas, other disciplines. So let's get started. First of all, in linear combination, you need to make sure that all of your variables, here's x, here's another variable y, oops, I'm making squares for some reason, on one side, and they're lined up in columns like you can see here. And then you need to just combine them. In this case, I'm going to combine these so that you can see that the x's cancel out. So a negative x and an x combined gives me no x's or 0. A 2y plus a 6y gives me 8y is equal to 16, negative 16, and a negative 8, which gives me a negative 24. I now just isolate the variable y, get it by itself, and now that gives me now a negative 3. And that's my y solution for this linear combination. So now in order to find your x, you need to use, you see the arrows here that I put in here. You could substitute your y is equal to negative 3. You could put your negative 3 in this area right here, or in this area. You choose the one you want. It has to do, really, there's no difference, whichever one's easier to work with. So here's x plus 6 times a negative 3 is equal to a negative 16. So now I have 6 times a negative 3, which gives me x plus a negative 18 is equal to 16. This could also be written as x minus 18 is equal to 16. I'm going to put or right here. Now I isolate the variable x by adding 18 to both sides, which now gives me x is equal to 34. So my solution in this case is 34, I think I made something wrong here, comma, negative 3. Okay, now we just got my mistake. I copied this wrong. This should be negative 16. This should be negative 16. This should be negative 16, which in turn gives me an answer of 2. It becomes not this, because I'm saying 2 comma negative 3 is my solution for these two lines. Okay, here's our second example. This is one where the variables are kind of mixed up. So like the book says, you need to put your variables all on one side and your numbers, your coefficients, on the other side. In this case, here's the 5y. It's already lined up. So my x is on the other side of the line, my y is over here. I'm going to have to do a few mathematical tricks in order to line all up my variables and my numbers. So I just moved over my equation over here and did this. I rewrote my equation appropriately and copied incorrectly on top. And then I just did the magic of algebra, and I moved my negative 20 to the other side by adding both 20 to both sides. And then I moved my 4x to the other side by adding 4x to both sides. Here I found my little mistake. And then the result is 5y plus 4x is equal to 20. And in the other formula, I'm going to move my negative 5/4 x. I'm going to add it to both sides. So magic of algebra. Add plus 5 over 4x. And that now gives me y is equal to 5 over 4x is equal to 4. I'm going to move this one underneath so that we have them. Oops, I gotta erase something. I already found the mistake. Okay, through the magic of cutting and pasting, I fixed up all my little blunders up there. And this is now ready to be combined because all the variables are lined up in columns and my numbers are lined up in columns also. question is, how do I combine these two such that they both, well, one of the variables will equal to 0? And what I need to do now is I need to multiply one of these so that the other becomes 0. So I'm going to multiply this top one by a negative 5, because negative 5 times y gives me a negative 5y, and a 5y minus 5 gives me 0. So let me rewrite this combination up here. Okay, through the magic of editing, I'm able to show you that I redid this down here. I did a distributive property to everything here to the negative 5. That gives me a negative 5y down here. And down here it gives me a negative 25 fourths. X is equal to a negative 20, which is great. And now I'm going to combine my two lines, and this gives me 0. This, for some reason, gives me 0 also, which is okay, because that's okay. And now we need to combine these two, this 4x and the negative 25 over 4x, and 4 minus negative 4. So I've never really been good at fractions, but I do know that if I'm combining these like terms, this negative form is addition. Korean students actually showed me an interesting little trick where you multiply the two bottom ones, which now gives me 4, because 4 times 1 is 4, over, and then you cross multiply this, which gives me a negative 25, and you multiply that, which gives me a negative 16, which now gives me, okay, here's a little math, Korean math here on the side, and that gives me, what I think is 25, it's a negative, oops, I gotta get my pen out here again, because I totally lost my pen, gives me a negative, 25 plus a negative 16 gives me a negative 41 over 4, and I know you guys are thinking, holy smokes, that is really ugly, 41 over 4. X. Well, so how do I get rid of this x? How do I get it by itself? I multiply that by negative 4 over 41 times negative 4 over 41. X is equal to basically 0 divided by 41, which is x is equal to 0. So my answer is 0. Let me scroll up on my page a little bit so that you can see where we're supposed to be. And my y was negative 3. So my solution in this case is 0, comma, negative 3. And that's where those two lines, that's the solution of those two lines.